Hey y'all, welcome to our South Georgia garden. We've been getting a lot of questions about how we prune our roses, so we thought we would show you all that. Mark's already getting all the equipment ready, so he's going to meet us out at the rose gardens. And so y'all come along as we prune our roses. Before we begin the pruning today, I wanted to show you what the garden looked like last spring. This is our Belinda's Dream Garden. We named it this because of the 3 Belinda's Dream roses that we have planted here. And this was actually the first rose garden that we planted when we moved to our new home.
Yes, Belinda, and we chose Belinda's Dream, obvious reasons, right, Belinda?
Yes. And
yes, they make me think of my wife, dreaming of her.
yes, I was quite surprised when I found that there was a rose that either I was named after or maybe it was named after me.
Interesting fact about it is it was developed by a math professor in Texas, so it is perfect for these hot, humid climates.
Yes, it does well for us. And around it, we've planted a ring of peachish colored drift roses. And then we also have a few perennials that we plant because they say that roses like having some socks around them. And in the center there is a fragrant osmanthus or tea olive, which gives us some evergreen year-round, and it's a nice fragrance when it's in bloom. So this is what the Belinda's Dream looked like last spring. And when we begin our pruning, you can see that it looks drastically different now here in late winter. But hopefully, if we do some good pruning, correct it well, prune it well, it's going to be glorious coming spring. Well, Mark, it looks like this beautiful South Georgia sun and blue sky is kind of telling us it's time to do some rose pruning here in South Georgia. But everyone has to check their zone and their area to know when to do their pruning. And then you've already got your tools ready?
Yes, I've disinfected my tools. I've got my safety glasses on. Got my rose pruning gloves, thick leather gloves, and I'm ready to get after it.
Okay. We're let you walk on in there and show us what you're going to do.
Okay, Belinda, as we're starting on this first rose, we do want to reduce the size by about 1/3. That's what we did last year, and they've already grown substantially. Of course, we'll look for any diseased, damaged, or dead wood, dead canes. The thing we like to do is kind of take some of these longer canes out so we can see what we're dealing with. We know that this one's going to come back. It was pruned back last year, probably down into this area, so we'll take it down for now to there. We may do some more.
So right now we're not trying to be specific about which way the bud is and that kind of thing. We're just taking some of the extra foliage off to have a better line of sight.
Correct. And we found out that that's good because then you're not putting your head and your face and your eyes into where these thorny canes are.
Right now you're taking off maybe about 1/4, but you're not being too specific about which place you're cutting it.
Not at this point.
You're just size controlling it a little bit.
Right. And getting it out of my face so that now as I'm going in here, I'm seeing, yes, I could take just the top off of this, but this is growing into the interior of the rose. So I am just going to come back and take this off here.
So you're a little bit taking your time looking at assessing the condition of the bush as you're going. And I see you do have on some of those long rose gloves. You've learned they're the trick for these roses.
Yes, I think they're called gauntlet gloves. So they do work extremely well. These rose thorns will really grab you. Okay, I think I'm okay with taking some of this top down. Now I'm going to look at interior. I'm noticing this cane is dead. In fact,
and how did you know it was dead?
It's brown.
Very brown.
Very brown, and when I grabbed a hold of it, it just broke.
Kind of snapped in your fingers.
Snapped in two.
Okay.
So that goes in the bucket.
All right. So now you can kind of look and see if you see any more of those as you're going.
I'm looking to see if I see any more that are just obviously dead. And I don't, at this point, this rose was a very healthy. I do see one right here.
Okay, way down near the trunk.
And you can tell that just snapped right off in my hands.
Right.
So that's a dead branch cane off that rose. Okay, now I can look and see I've got canes, crossing canes.
So anything that's crossing or growing towards the center, right?
Right, as this one is. It's got some nice growth on the, new growth on the end, but it's growing right towards the middle. It comes out.
Because we need good airflow in there, especially in our humid climate with these roses. We'd like it to be a little more of a sort of a vase shape.
Yes. This is going right back into the middle. It's coming out. So basically right now, what we're doing is cleaning up in this middle section.
So pretty much as it is with any pruning, you want to take out any dead, diseased, or damaged, or crossing. And then with our rose bushes, we want to keep them some airflow in that center to let, and also for sunlight to get down in there.
Okay, now as we're looking, this particular rose, this cane has a new growth, a bud coming out here, and that's going to grow out from the center.
Okay, away from the center.
Away from the center. This one that has been cut needs to be cut a little lower because I've got one growing out here.
Okay.
So, and the same with this one. I'm going to go down a little farther because this one's growing more in. That one actually is kind of coming in. So I'm going to go a good bit farther.
And also it's lower on, you're kind of going a little bit lower to the ground. So you have a nice fullness from the ground up.
Correct.
Because this is more of a bush rose for us.
Yes, it is. Definitely a bush or shrub rose.
Shrub rose. So we like for it to be full, pretty much from the ground up.
Yes. Sometimes pruning roses, you feel like, oh, am I doing too much? They're so resilient. They will grow back and respond well to pruning.
And you do want to take your time and try to make a good decision as you're going. But you can, after you finish, come back and make some more adjustments. You could take off a little more. You just couldn't put back any you'd already taken off.
So true. You can always take more off, but you can't put more back. You can't put it back on.
Yeah, that one's kind of coming out sort of weird on the top there. Are you going to maybe take it down below all those little pieces?
I'm looking for a bud that's
okay.
coming out. I'm finding one right here.
Okay. All right. So you took some of that little spindly stuff off the top and
Correct.
went back to a cane that would be maybe about pencil size. And I know some people would kind of say rose pruning is tedious, but it's also a bit therapeutic because you're dreaming of what this rose bush is going to look like in just a few short months. And moving on around helps you, in my opinion, keep in mind the size or shape that you've been dealing with, keeping it more uniform.
Correct.
Rather than making drastic changes in one area and then going to another area. And then we do have, as I said, this tea olive is growing as a center for these 3 Belinda's Dream roses. So you're dealing a little bit with that, of letting them play well together, but giving everybody their own space. So the side of the rose bush that's on the interior near that tea olive may have a little bit different shape, and you make your decisions considering the shrub as well as the rose.
Yes.
Seems like you've gone around and done some assessing and you found a problem at the bottom here, didn't you?
Two canes crossing. This cane and this cane are crossing each other and they're actually rubbing.
Right. And how are you deciding now which one you're going to keep?
Well, we've looked at both of them, and while you could take either one of them, this one is growing more into the middle of the shrub and this one's growing out. So I'd rather take the one that's growing into the middle.
And it kind of seems like he's headed straight up towards the sky. We kind of say sometimes growing inward and then up, straight up, right?
Yes.
So you're going to take that one out. The other one is going more out to the edge, so you're going to keep it.
Correct.
And you're going pretty low on this, right? All the way to the base of the
All the way
plant.
to the base.
Okay. So you eliminated the crossing. You eliminated it growing straight up in the center. I see a nice bud facing outward that you were talking about, and then it has some more kind of reaching up. So would you prune that back to the bud that's coming out away from the center?
This one.
Yes.
And yes, this is a good one facing out.
All right, I got to find you. Show me again on the camera.
Here.
Okay. Yes.
Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to prune right above that.
Okay. Well, even though this looks kind of drastic, as we've said, we know it's for the benefit of the overall health.
That's correct. And having had these roses here a few years, we did the same procedure last year. Had a beautiful display of roses.
We
kept
show
cutting
that.
them and we'll show that. You kept
can
cutting
show
them and
that.
bringing them inside and filling the house with the fragrance of Belinda's dream.
And we also know that in doing that, when I do come out and say either deadhead or cut some a bouquet to take in, I'm actually doing a little pruning at that time.
I also want to say that, of course, we'll show once we finish the entire rose garden, we'll show a picture of that. But there are a lot of leaves and some debris that's fallen at the base of these. Before we put some fresh compost around them and fertilize them, we'll pull all of that debris out and remove it from this area.
So we'll do a little cleanup. Okay, I think that's one Belinda's dream done and two more to go.
So Belinda, as you've shown, we have the finished rose, at least for now, pruned. And we have two black nursery pots full of prunings off that one rose. It looks drastic, but it's good for the rose, it's good for its health, and for the spring blooms to come.
Yes, so don't feel afraid to go ahead, trust yourself, and prune your roses.
And here are the three Belinda's Dream roses already pruned and waiting for the new growth.
Yeah, you can see just a teeny bit of new growth already coming out there. So they're on their way to spring. And then we'll do a little bit more cleanup around there before we put down our fresh mulch.
Yes, our composted manure and, of course, some fertilizer, rose fertilizer that we put around. We usually use rose tone, is what we typically use. But it may look drastic, as we said, but this is for the health of the rose and, of course, for those beautiful blooms.
So now we're on to the next roses.
Yesterday, we pruned Belinda's Dream roses. Today, it's later in the afternoon, and we're looking at these knockout roses. Knockout roses will be pruned a little differently because you can prune them more drastically. But still, you want to clean them up. You don't want them to be too cluttered in the middle, too bushy in the middle, because you want some airflow. And these formed quite a hedge. These were pruned down very drastically last year, and they have put on at least half of this growth that you're seeing here.
So Mark, I see you've got these first 3 knockout roses pruned back. It takes a good while to do that much cut on these knockouts because, as you said, there's a lot there and you need to do a pretty drastic pruning. But they're looking great. So I guess you'll finish the rest of this hedge.
On to more pruning.
And Mark, this is what those knockout roses looked like last spring with that first flush of blooms. Oh, they were glorious.
Yes, Belinda, they certainly are glorious and they form such a hedge. So pruning does help your roses.
Yes, it's definitely worthwhile. And we can't wait to see these again.
Yes, and a little side note, it's amazing. These were clearance plants from Lowe's.
Yeah, I think they were only $5 a piece. What a bargain. Well, Mark, I think we stayed out in the garden a little bit longer today. Even though it's late winter, it was nice temperature today, wasn't it?
Yes, the weather's been nice and it's been a beautiful day.
So that's why it was a good thing for us to start tackling those roses and get that done, right?
Yes, it's a job that needs to be done. It's kind of a prickly job, but it needs to be done if you want some beautiful rose blooms.
Yes, those beautiful blooms and that fragrance, that's the nice reward.
It certainly is, and they're well worth it.
They are. And what did you say about February?
February in our area, in our zone, is a good month to prune roses. Of course, if you end up being in March, it's still okay to prune, but we like to do it in February.
In our area for our zone. Some of them were already, the little buds were kind of breaking, weren't they?
They have. They've already started putting out some fresh new growth.
New growth.
With this warm temperatures that we've been having.
Yes, so check your area and check your rose bushes and see how they're progressing now, if you're not still under that snow blanket.
Yes, and I think people should not be afraid to prune roses. It looks drastic, but the rewards are certainly worth it.
Yes, so hopefully you could see that, that even though it was a drastic change, we know what the reward's going to be.
Yes, we do. And I think it'd be good if people have questions about how we prune our roses to ask us. And let us know what kind of roses you grow. We grow a combination of them. All of our roses are reblooming roses.
Yes.
But let us know what you grow.
Yeah, what's your favorite rose or what does best in your area?
And maybe what's your favorite color rose? We've got different colors, but some people have a favorite color rose.
And I think if I asked you what your favorite one is, I think I know the answer.
I think you should. Belinda's Dream. Oh, that is the rose.
That is the rose. And we've also added some Belinda's Blush.
Yes, that's new this year. We just planted them, so they didn't need pruning.
No, but I'm anxious to see how they work. I'm anxious to see their blooms.
I am too. I'm always interested to see Belinda's Blush.
You make her blush.
Well,
on that
note, sweetie, I think it's time for some sweet tea.
I think so.
Cheers from our South Georgia garden.
Happy gardening.